Listen to the waves. Visualize yourself pregnant. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Welcome to Lost All Caps.
I like that one. It feels like that felt like what she was doing was like guided meditation.
Yeah.
And that's not really like, that's not exactly cognitive behavioural therapy, is it?
No. She'd have a TikTok account if she was around today, I think.
No hashtags, no caption. If this video found you, it was meant for you. You
Manifest.
need to take a deep breath.
Meditate. Mm-hmm.
Your cortisol levels are too high.
That's Libby for real. I'm Ariel.
And I'm Velvet.
And this is the Lost All Caps podcast. Pow!
Episode 44, Maternity Leave.
We
Now
love
this episode, I gotta say,
truly one of the most iconic in the whole show.
huge day for women.
It's a huge day for women.
Huge day for women everywhere. Crazy, crazy moves this episode.
So good.
In so many ways.
Honestly, Sawyer's line, "No boys allowed," is so important to me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just the fact that, like, it was unspoken, and then he said it, and then that him saying it doesn't invalidate or devalue or, like, any of the scenes that are happening. Do you know what I mean? Like, every step along the way, it seems like, oh, they've just gone to the logical choice, and it just happens to be a woman. But I'm like, but yeah, it is really cool that they're just letting all the girls get together and have a plot line themselves.
Because it is like, you know, who would go with her, because it's like Kate would, of course she would.
Of course she would.
And like, of course they need Danielle, you know, that makes sense. Of course they leave baby with son, but it just means all the women are together.
Yeah.
And it's great.
And Libby, don't forget Libby as well.
And Libby, they go to Libby because she's a psychologist.
If only Anna Lucia had come along on the expedition.
I know, I wish she was involved in this episode a bit more, because like...
She wasn't in it at all, I don't think.
No. Because apparently we can't have Echo and Anna Lucia in an episode together anymore.
Yeah.
They're always
What's
alternating.
that going on? What's that all about?
Yeah. No, it would have been great if Anna Lucia was there.
That's it, I think. That's all the women, isn't it? Now that Shannon's...
But they're great together. They work great together.
Yes.
I think, because also something that I think is so crucial to the episode is also like, in my opinion, it should be Claire's default to go to Kate for help, you know, and it would be in terms of the character. But because we've had John like sleeping by her side and like protecting her and stuff, it might be that like she'd ask John to go and like track and stuff. But John's busy in the hatch, so he would never.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "No, you're not gonna go."
Yeah.
Whereas Kate's like, "Yeah, she's good." And I really appreciate Kate's as well, that she doesn't try and like tell Claire to stop.
Yeah.
You know, like the fact that she says she's gonna go whether I go with her or not, and like she wants to go to help her.
Yeah.
Is so important to me.
Yeah.
Because it's like all, you know, John is being like, no, you stay here, I'll go to the hatch. And Jack's being like, no, stay here, he'll be fine.
And also, that's all Jack ever does to Kate, right?
Yeah.
No,
it says,
stay back.
Don't come with us.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is how you actually protect someone you care about. You go, if you want to go, I'm going to come with you and keep you safe.
And pull a gun out at the earliest opportunity.
And start shooting.
Yeah. The mildest inconvenience. Gun.
Don't go near Claire.
That really made me giggle. I was like, is that necessary, Diva?
I mean, Danielle did take Aaron, so I feel like slightly necessary.
Yeah, but like, you know, the tensions weren't that high.
The tension was not really gun high. But she wanted to... She's got to protect her girl.
She does.
She's got to protect her girl.
She does.
And this is like, I think this kind of episode was really the origin of when we started saying Kate's a girl's girl.
Yeah, I think so.
When we first watched it. I think this is when we were like, because she loves women.
Yeah. This is the girl's girl episode. It's the episode for the girls, about the girls.
And I think that, can I just say, like, the title is so clever as well.
Yeah.
Maternity Leave, I think it's so good.
At first I was like, oh, that's a bit embarrassing. But then, like, the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, no, yeah, I like it.
I think it's really clever, because I think, like, the way that what has happened to Claire is like set up to her so that she thinks that like she's in the normal world, you know, she's in a regular doctor's office or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you know, maternity leave is the normal thing.
Yeah.
And also because everyone keeps telling her to go and sit down and rest.
Yeah.
And like, no, Claire, you just had a baby, you need to calm down. It's like, no.
Yeah. But
This
also,
is how she's spending her maternity
she hasn't
leave.
had the luxury of a maternity leave.
No, because her baby got kidnapped like when it was like a week old.
Yeah. And it's like super stressful, and it's like, you know, I think the fact that Aaron's fever isn't anything supernatural and isn't the sickness
So important.
is really important, because it's just like, this is something that she would have had to deal with if she was raising the baby in Australia.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But
like,
the solution would have been like give him a bit of like baby cowpole.
yeah,
and
maybe.
he'll be fine.
Or just like put him down for a nap or whatever. You know, like, and yeah, the fever breaks and it is all fine in the end, but it's like, that's important to me too, you know? And like, you know, she's unprepared for all of it. Because
Yeah.
she wasn't going to be a mother anyway. She was going to give the baby up for adoption. And it's like, she's unprepared for the simplest things, as well as the jungle
extreme
mystery.
things.
You
Yeah.
know? Like, I think that's really cool.
Craziest line maybe in the whole episode though is when she says, "This isn't like him, he always sleeps through the night." I was like, that baby's like 3 months old. If he's sleeping through the night, that's a concern. That's like an active
He's
concern.
less than 3 months old, for sure.
He's like, well, what did we say it was? Like mid-November.
Yeah, he's a couple weeks
He's
old,
like 3
really.
weeks.
Yeah. And there's no way he sleeps through the night when it's like boiling hot. There's monster noises. There's all kinds of shit. People showing up with guns.
And also like just
People
like,
trying to take him.
you can have the most quiet, perfect environment in the world, and a baby's not going to sleep through the night.
Yeah. Unrealistic.
I was like, okay, none of the people in the Rise Room have ever had children, clearly. Because now even I know that's not right. But I guess there needs to be she needs to be able to say this is out of character behaviour.
Yeah.
But also, like, babies don't sleep through the night.
Yeah.
He's big enough. It's just his size.
Yeah, he looks like he's, you know,
He's
a
able
year
to
and a
sleep
half.
through the night. Baby, can I say, was so cute in this episode as well.
Very cute.
We don't often get that many shots of the baby, because obviously it's usually a doll, and then it's like there's one shot of the baby and then it's like cut away and it's clearly a doll again.
Yeah.
I want to know who like surrendered their baby to have rash painted all over him also.
Yeah, and also, do you ever worry about, like, how do they make the babies cry for camera?
Yeah.
I'm a bit like, what's the ethics involved in that?
Yeah, I don't know actually. I mean, babies do just start crying. Maybe they just wait and then they go like, okay, rolling.
Yeah. I'd hope that that's it.
I mean, as I've talked about before, like a lot of baby noises on film are like from the same soundboard.
Yeah, but we actually see the
But
baby
we do
crying
see him
in this one.
crying.
There are moments where you don't. Like, I think the first scene, it's all very dark, so it looks kind of like she's holding a doll maybe, or like the baby's not actually crying and it's just like noise coming over.
But when when she's like giving him over to Sun and stuff,
Yeah.
he's definitely actually crying.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe they were just like, I don't know, maybe he didn't like be having rash painted all over him. Maybe that was his complaint.
Hey, it's an uncomfortable situation for a baby to
A
be in.
valid complaint. Why is my face all red?
Yeah. Why is my mum over there behind the metal thing?
Who is this woman?
Why
who's
are there
holding me?
200 people staring at me?
Why am I being passed between all these different women? Where's my mother?
I fell asleep at home.
I woke up on the beach.
On set. They were rolling. I haven't even had a macchiato. How am I supposed to work under these conditions?
Where's my baby Chino? Get me a baby Chino.
Baby Chino!
Extra chocolate dust stat.
Yes!
I especially appreciated that final scene where she gives him the sock.
Straight in the mouth.
Straight in the mouth. First of all, baby chew sock. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Secondly, when she holds it up, the baby, like, obviously completely unintentionally, but he, like, brings his foot into frame. And it's like he was going, I know where this goes.
But, yeah. Sock me.
Sock
That's what he's
me.
saying. Sock me!
Sock me, mother.
That scene is so emotional.
So beautiful.
It got me a little weepy this morning, I do have to admit.
It's so good. But we can't get there yet. Let's
Okay, let's attempt chronology, shall we?
So, first of all, also, while we're talking about women, how much we love women, how great women are, I have to say, at the top of the episode, I really deeply appreciate the lack of Charlie.
Yes.
This episode.
Gets him out of here, not welcome in this space.
Can you imagine how much worse this would have gone if it had been Charlie who'd gone with Claire and not Kate?
Oh my god.
It would have been an awful episode.
Yeah. That's such a good point. It would have just changed the tone so much. It would have become like Exodus. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe that's why they had to like write in all the Charlie villain art, because they were like, he can't.
He can't be. It was all leading up to this. Now I like that idea.
Hey, if it's leading up to this, then I'm on board again.
Yeah. I really like that the writers were like, no, we cannot move on our diva-centric episode. We have to have the diva-centric episode.
We have
That's
to
a
have Kate and
non-negotiable.
Claire teaming up. We have to.
So whatever we need to do to work around to get that to make sense, we'll do.
But why would what if Charlie kidnapped the baby?
What?
Okay, write that down.
Fine.
The only way, there's some kind of argument happening in the writers' room, the only way I would let you have that episode is if Charlie kidnaps the baby, and they went, okay, write the episode.
Yeah.
So, okay. First of all, we talked last week about the very long previously on. Another very fun, very long, another sort of other supercut in a way.
In a way, yes.
But it's
Claire-centric.
Claire-centric other supercut.
I just am so excited when it's a Claire-centric episode. I love
They're all so good.
So much.
And also the genius of this being a flashback episode, but the flashbacks are taking place on the island and she doesn't remember them.
So genius.
So incredible. It's almost kind of like Lost via Domus if it was good, It's like the amnesia thing, like she's going into her memories and trying to remember.
I love the structure of this episode.
I think it's very clever.
So cool, and like the really short snippets with that noise. That was a terrible impression, but like that noise is so like jump scary, you know, and like all of these flashes, which she calls them flashes, by the way.
Flashbacks.
Slipping that in there.
She's genre aware.
Just so cool, and what I really love is when the show does something that we've not seen before. It's giving Other 48 Days to me.
Absolutely,
this
it's like it is a tone shift.
Yeah,
for sure. And I think what's so good is that the thing with the flashback narrative is that it's like emotional context to the like on island episode narrative. It's like, this is why this character is behaving this way because they're thinking about this thing that happened in their past. Or it's like, even in the like plot directly relevant ones where it's like, this is why, Echo wants to find the plane. But it's never like so intrinsically linked in the same way. Like the fact that it's figuring out the plots of both alongside each other. Yeah. And I just think like cinematographically, we're bringing back the televisography.
Hell yes.
So cleverly done, I think, where it's like the like flashes, the really short ones, being the beginning of every flashback scene. Yeah. Because it's like, you feel so disorientated. Yeah. And that's really clever because obviously Claire is so, you really feel it from her perspective. And 100%. I think that's so good. And I think like the shots of like, a lot of the shots are done from her perspective. Like it's all very low down and like looking up and like from the bed. Particularly like the scenes with like Alex are all like that, and I think like that is just really, it's just a really good way of putting you in her position completely, and like the way it just kind of becomes more and more confusing and you don't have the timeline right and you don't know what happened and when, and it's like as she's being more and more sedated, like the things are getting fuzzier. It's just so, it's really cleverly done. I think this is one of the like in terms of like, cinematography, this is one of the best episodes for that. Totally agree. And I think, the drugged stuff, like she does some very good drugged acting, I think. Yeah. I think she's just such a good actor, Emily DeRaven. She is. She like, really gets her chance to shine in this episode. Yeah. I was like, oh, Claire's back. Yeah. Like she's back in the building. She's clocking in. Like I wrote, she's putting the hours after in. After the like meditation scene where we get the first flashback and she says, I have to go find it, I was like, I wrote down Claire's entire character returns with the steel chair. I was like, she's back.
Yes.
She's back.
Completely. And I think, it, you know, in Raised by Another as well, it's like when you put her in the spotlight, she delivers.
She changes lives.
She does. And I think she brings a real horror element to the show. Like,
yeah.
I think she's a really good horror actor. And this episode is scary, and you really get that, especially with the kind of like, I don't know whether I can trust myself, my own memories.
Yeah.
I have amnesia, you know, like I lost this, and then Libby's saying, well, I think you probably blocked it out kind of vibe, doesn't she? It's like the memories are still there, you've just put up this barrier. And that in itself is scary, because it's like, I don't even know what my own brain is doing.
Yeah.
And add in the fact that she's completely drugged and out of her mind, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, could it be that it, like, the fact that she's forgotten everything was, like, long-term effects of all the sedation wearing off? Because obviously Libby doesn't have that context. That could potentially be
absolutely, I think that's part of it. She didn't even know what was going on when it was happening to her. How's she going to remember it after, you know, however many weeks? And,
obviously, you know, then also, you know, Danielle knocked her out with a gun. She was also concussed.
And Alex chloroformed her, don't forget that.
She got sedated for, like, 2 weeks, and then chloroformed and then concussed.
Injected with a mystery drug.
No one doesn't remember anything, you know? I won't even know my own name.
Yeah.
But I think what you said about her being bringing a horror element to it is really interesting to me, because I think there is a really common motif in, like, horror movies and stuff of, like, kind of pregnancy and childbirth as a psychological horror. Like, a lot of movies are about, like, it's either, like, what if your baby was evil, or, like, what if you're cursed with a pregnancy, and, like, what if any, you know, stuff like Alien is, like, he's, the worst thing that could happen to the man is that he gets pregnant, but also there's things like, you know, like The Omen, where it's like her baby is the devil, and like Rosemary's Baby and stuff. Yeah. A lot of really iconic horror films.
I wrote a whole essay about something similar to this.
Oh yeah.
I wrote an essay about like body horror and a kind of like there's this idea in ancient Greek plays of like or like, I don't know if it's included in myth as well, but it's definitely in one of the plays, the Bacchae, called sparagmos, which is like,
great word.
I know, literally like tearing a body apart, right? So basically what happens in the Bacchae is there are all of these women who are under the influence of Dionysus, right? He's kind of like it got them drunk, kind of, I guess, but like just cast this kind of spell over them, and so they kind of go feral and they tear this guy like limb from limb, like fully like tear him apart. And then of course it's like the tragedy of like realizing what they've done and stuff. That's what the play then goes on to do. It's a really good one out of the Greek tragedies. But I was like taking that idea and kind of applying it to like body horror and stuff. So I looked at The Thing and The Fly.
Nice.
And just thinking about like the terror of like feeling like your body is just, your body is yourself, do you know what I mean? And it's like losing the sense of self and like it being torn apart. And then I wrote a little bit about pregnancy as well because of Alien, like the tearing apart, you know. And also because in The Fly she has this dream where, okay, so if you don't know the plot of The Fly, Jeff Goldblum is a scientist and he transports himself, but then a fly flies into the transporter and his DNA gets mixed with the fly, right? But he has this girlfriend and they have been sleeping together whilst he has had the fly DNA in him. Then he starts to transform and his body starts to like rip apart and his like ear falls off and stuff, you know, because he's turning into this like fly creature. And she starts freaking out because she finds out she's pregnant. She's like, oh my god, it's a fly baby. And she has a dream that she gives birth to this like larvae thing. And it's so freaky and like, yeah. So I wrote about that as like a kind of, you know, like your body goes through so much during pregnancy, and I think that's terrifying in some respects.
Absolutely.
Especially when you're thinking about male
perspectives of
it. Cinematography, male directors, male writers.
Not understanding. And I think a big part of it comes from a lack of understanding of the human body, and not like partially from a perspective of like a man not being able to understand what like happens in a woman's body, but also like even, like, I mean, I assume I've never been pregnant, but, like, when you are pregnant, I imagine it's like, how the fuck am I doing this? Like, it's a whole, like, it's completely unknown, anything could be happening.
Yeah.
And especially in the days, like, before ultrasounds and stuff, it's like, you could have multiple babies and have no idea. You could have babies with, like, you know, disabilities and conditions and stuff not developing properly, and you have no idea.
Yeah.
And there's, like, a whole unknown around it. I was gonna say, but often it's like, it's about the baby. Often I was thinking of like Eraserhead,
which
and
I've
stuff,
not seen yet.
which I've not seen either, but I've seen the baby and I think he's really cute. But like, and stuff. But then there's like, have you read The Midwich Cuckoos?
No.
Banging book. I would really recommend it to everyone. If you're a fan of Lost, you will enjoy it. So it's a book. The film, there's a 1960s film called Children of the Damned that's the adaptation of it. They did
the
a
blonde
modern
wigs and the
they did a modern adaptation of it as well, but I didn't hear great things about it. I've not seen either of the films. But it's basically about a village where this like alien ship comes down and everyone in the village falls asleep for 48 hours, and people try and like cross the border to the village and then fall asleep. And it's like, it's from the perspective of this couple who were like away for the weekend and then they can't get back into the village, and they get like the police and they put like, it's really funny sequence where they put a canary in a cage and then they like go forwards and like stick the canary over this line, then it falls asleep, and then they like draw a line to like find the border of where the canary falls asleep and where it doesn't. Anyway, that's by the by. Basically, they all fall asleep for 48 hours, and when they wake up, all the women are pregnant.
Oh, wow.
And they have, on the same day, they all go into labour. They have these, like, identical, blonde, blue-eyed babies that have psychic powers. Oh, wow. So they can, like, basically, they have this, like, kind of telepathy, like a power of suggestion. They can make people do things. And the first example of it is, because they grow too quickly as well, they age like twice as fast as normal babies do. Oh my God. But the first example of it is, there's one mother, she was like pinning the nappy onto the baby, and she accidentally caught his skin, his like stomach skin, with the safety pin, and then he like looked her in the eyes, and then when someone came in to see her, she was like stabbing herself in the hand over and over again with the safety pin.
Oh my God. I thought you were gonna say the baby went, ow, mother, that really hurt, or something like that.
He was like, as revenge for hurting him.
Oh, wow.
He made her do it over and over and over.
I gotta read this book. This sounds insane.
Brilliant.
This sounds really good.
It's a really, really good story, and it's from the perspective of the couple, and then also there's like a man who really sympathises with the kids, and it's kind of between their perspectives of like the idea. It's so good. And it's like, it's I want to say it was like 40s it was released, so it's like quite an old...
Oh, okay, wow.
It's really short as well. It's only about 200 pages long. Really, really good. I would really recommend it. And this very much is a similar energy. It's like something happened to your baby. Your baby is...
Blue-eyed baby with psychic powers.
Blonde blue-eyed baby.
Blue-eyed Boon Baby is there on MySpace. This is just read The Midwich
Clear
Cuckoos,
reference.
a clear and direct reference to the hit television show Lost.
So yeah, like... pregnancy and childbirth is a huge motif in horror, and I think they really push the horror angle with a lot of these stories, which I think works really, really well with Claire as a character and also with Danielle as a character, and like the horror of losing a child as well. Yeah. And that being something that drives people to madness is also interesting.
Yes, so much to talk about there. Just a couple of things to jump on from what you just said, just popcorning from what you had said there. First of all, Claire's crazy dream in Raised by Another. Mm-hmm. So obviously that's really pushing the horror angle. That's what you said that really reminded me of it.
Yeah, the blood and stuff.
Something crazy, a huge connection, is that in that dream, she sees a mobile above the crib with the oceanic planes on it, and that's real, that's there, that's in the facility, in the place that they've built for Aaron. So that must have been like a prophetic detail that the island gave her, like Teresa falls up the stairs.
It was like a, don't let your baby go into this crib because it's gonna die.
Oh my God, yes, that's exactly what it was! And don't forget that John's in that dream as well, and John and Claire have not really connected that much up until that point in the show.
Yeah.
And so it was always a bit like, why is John here? But John and Claire are really good friends right now.
Yeah.
So maybe that it was all like trying to lead us up to this episode.
I think so.
Love. And then the other thing I was going to say is, you losing your baby and what kind of that impact can have on you. I think it's really interesting to look at Danielle as like a future version of Claire almost.
Yeah.
And when you think about her little monologue at the end, which was what got me a little weepy today, when she's like, now I understand that we're supposed to be together, you know, we're supposed to take care of each other, me and you. Gorgeous.
Beautiful.
And also look at what happened to Rousseau when she lost her child, you know. It's like, yeah, we know that Claire has to raise Aaron, but also the idea that Aaron is there to keep Claire sane almost, you know.
Yeah. And like I think it's really interesting to see like the way that Danielle behaves towards Claire as a version of her that doesn't go through what she's gone through is so interesting. When you
she's very protective of Claire in her own sort of fucked up way.
In this episode, very much like the fact that like it's so incredibly significant to me, the fact that Danielle as a character does not connect with people. We know this. She doesn't want to be around people. She doesn't know how to like interact with people. She doesn't seem to care so much for like the well-being of the group, that kind of thing. But the fact that she found Claire alone in the woods and tried to help her, and then even when she attacked her, she still carried her back to the camp
on her back
to make sure that she was safe and that her baby would be safe.
Oh, yeah.
Is so beautiful.
Grandma Rousseau, I'm saying it right now.
Grandma Rousseau.
She's
And
the
like,
godmother. Imagine. I want her to be my godmother. What? Her?
Okay. That's
you know she'd protect the baby.
But then I think that's really interesting as well, looking at the fact that she takes Aaron. You know, at the end of series 1, but the reason she does that is because she thinks that if she can trade Aaron for Alex, right?
Yeah.
And then looking at this episode in relation to that, and how Claire, as soon as Claire mentions a teenage girl, she's like, we have to go, and
I
like,
love
is looking
that
for her.
bit. Her face. So
my
good.
God.
As soon as she says teenage girl, Rousseau's face.
And also it's the idea of Alex as a teenage girl, when obviously she's always talked about as a baby. My baby, they took my baby.
Yeah.
And it's like, but that was 16 years ago. And she's, you know, a walking, talking, nearly adult now.
Yes!
Oh my
God.
So interesting.
And let's talk about
Alex.
And well, there's another woman in the show that we forgot.
New woman.
Alex. I love
Alex.
Alex Rousseau.
I've only had Alex Rousseau for one episode, but I love her.
If anything happened to her, like, she is so cool, and you know, like, you can see, even though she wasn't raised by Danielle, there are echoes of Danielle
really
in her.
similar characters, and the fact that they both protected Claire.
Yes.
First of all, as women,
yes,
but also as people who are joined by this
trauma.
And like, we don't know Alex. The way Claire says, like, she wasn't like them.
Yeah.
We don't know how much does Alex know about her past, you know?
We don't know.
Does Alex know that she was kidnapped? Was she raised in that nursery? You know?
Could have been.
Like, is she trying to get away? I mean, we saw in Hunting Party.
Yeah.
You know, bring her out, Alex.
Of course.
But it's like, is she under the command of the others? Or is she integrated? Like,
it seems like she's sneaking around, right?
Yeah.
She's disobeying orders
not
almost.
Supposed to be with Claire.
Trying to wake Claire up and get her out of there. But I also love that she immediately resorts to chloroform.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, she's her mother's daughter.
At the end of the day, you know, you can't take the Rousseau out of her.
Yes!
She's
you can
like,
take the girl away from Rousseau, but you can't take the Rousseau out of the girl.
It's the way she's like, oh, I don't have time for this. Chloroform. And can I say, fabulous casting as well. They look really similar.
They do.
Super similar.
You may recognise this actor from Malcolm in the Middle.
Yes.
So
she
did.
plays the nerdy little girl in Malcolm in the Middle, in Malcolm's class. And she's really good in that as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, it's her.
It's her.
Yeah, she's great. I love her so much immediately.
Yeah.
The way it's like, and the way that Claire puts together the dots as well of
You
who
saved
she
me
was.
just like she did. She saved me just like you did, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a great line. Guys,
It's just so, and
this
like,
episode.
it's just so amazing.
Yep.
And like, the idea of like, you know, we're talking about the idea of Danielle as a future Claire, the idea of Alex as a future Aaron, that he, like a future he's managed to avoid by being freed. You know, if Alex does know about her past, obviously she wants to get Claire away so that another baby isn't stolen away.
Well, Alex seems to think that Claire's gonna die.
Yeah.
This is really interesting.
Was she told that her mother is dead?
Maybe. But this is really interesting because it's like, Ethan's there going like, we're not gonna hurt you, we're good people.
We're gonna send you back to your
We're
camp.
gonna send you back to your camp. She's like, I'm not sick. And he's like, thank God. Well, you can go back to your camp and hopefully you'll stay that way. And I was like, okay,
Just
interesting.
really interesting.
And then Alex is up here like, you're gonna die, they're gonna cut him out of you
kill
and
you.
basically leave you for dead on the operating table, it seems.
Yeah. It's really
That
interesting.
crazy shot with all the surgeons.
Oh my god, of the operating room.
Love.
Oh, shivers, literally shivers.
So creepy.
Like, I think Ethan's character is super interesting in this episode as well, because
He's so scary as well.
he's so scary, but he's so scary in such a different way to how we know him, you know?
Yeah.
We know Ethan as
Kick you in the face.
Kick you in the face, you know, breaks every bone in Steve's body, Scott's body even.
Yeah, Steve's
Breaks
the one
every
who
bone
survived.
in Scott's body.
Side
like,
note, Anna Lucia did that a couple
Yeah!
episodes ago, didn't she?
Wasn't that crazy? Steve's back.
Even the tail section aren't immune
Steve
to
wants
the
to join
Steve
the army
Scott.
because of what they did to Scott. The subtext is all there.
Yeah.
He's not forgotten.
Brackets, they were gay and in love.
So you should have gone to Steve.
Yeah.
I kept gunning for Steve to become a mainstream character. I really wanted him to.
Yeah, that would have been great. Steve!
But I digress. We know Ethan is this really physically intimidating person.
Yeah.
And what we have here is something very, like, sinister, but in a really different way. 'Cause it's like first of all, he's a doctor, question mark. He's medically
At least
trained
he's
in
posing
some way.
as one.
But, like, he seems to have this, like, it's the way he seems to care about Claire, but everything he says we know is so covered with lies that we don't know what he's telling her that's the truth and what isn't. Because also he changes his story.
Yeah.
You know, like when in the first one, Claire seems to not remember the plane crash and she says like, I'm going to LA to give him up for adoption, and so she seems to believe this is taking place pre-plane.
Yeah.
But then later on, when he says, like, we're good people, we're a good family, I was like, is he now trying to...
Well, then,
be
because
like-
she also goes, what happened to Charlie?
Yeah.
So she was obviously remembering different bits
She's like,
and
we let him
pieces.
go back to the camp, and then she says, like, we're going to let you go back. And she doesn't seem confused. Like, he changes based on how aware she is of her situation.
Yeah.
So we really can't trust anything he's saying. But can we? Because at the end of the day, we know that the others want the baby.
Yeah.
Right?
How much do they care about Claire as the mother?
Yeah.
Is the
And
real
like how
question.
much, you know, these vaccines and the medicine and the treatment, how much do they believe that she really needs that in order for Aaron to survive? I mean, clearly enough that Ethan was injecting her with it before he even kidnapped her. And as we know from this episode, he wasn't supposed to take her when he did.
Yeah.
He was supposed to, make the list and then bring her in.
Yeah.
But the plan was always to bring her in. It was never to wait until she gave birth and then just take the baby, like they did with Danielle.
Yeah.
Unless they tried to take Danielle and then they were like, she did just shoot 6 people. Maybe we just wait for her to have the baby on her own.
They're just like backing away, like, on second thoughts, do you know what? Let's
just
wait.
leave
Let's
it.
wait.
Let's
She'll
just leave it.
probably give birth and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Really interesting as well when you think about, is Rousseau the one that's sick rather than her team?
Yeah. What is the
Is
sickness? Again, it's
Claire
like
sick?
we have this further idea because obviously Henry Gale said fever was where it started.
Yeah.
and Aaron had a fever, but he got better.
Yeah.
And so it's like, is Jennifer Gale's sickness, was that just, you know, just an illness that she caught and that she died
Rosalina
from?
or whatever he called it.
Yeah.
Rose
Rose or something.
Rosola.
You know, maybe she just caught a virus and then just, like, got sick, and in a normal way.
Yeah.
And not in a crazy, corrupted, infected way. We don't know.
We don't know, because we don't know how much we can trust Rousseau's
Yeah.
idea of things. But then
And
Desmond's
equally,
got
can
this
we trust
idea
Desmond?
of things,
Desmond was injecting himself with Dharma Initiative vials.
which were the same
Which were the
vials
same.
we saw in this episode because they had the numbers on them.
Yes.
So it's definitely the same.
So those are the same. So what are those?
Yeah. Are they good? Are they bad?
Is it a placebo? Is it nothing?
What if it's a
Is
sedative?
Desmond giving himself pre-birth vitamins by accident?
We don't know. A genuine one. What if it was like a sedative and they gave it to Desmond so that he wouldn't try and get out of the hatch?
So that he wouldn't run away. Yeah.
And just be like, oh, well, I guess I got to push the button.
Very possible.
Because he's a bit...
And because also, like, we've seen that it really messes with Claire's memories.
Yeah.
And the less Desmond is aware of the outside world, the better it is.
It's like the rest of the world's still out there. Maybe
Still
that's
out
because
there.
of the drugs.
Because I kind of, like... I don't know. I mean, because also, like, there's this idea as well that the injections are something to do with the fact that he stays inside all the time, right?
Yeah.
Because they say, like, he's got, like, vitamin D lamps, like a lizard, and stuff. And so, like, maybe it's that, and they're not letting Claire leave.
No, but I don't think
But it
it's
feels
that.
way more
I think it's more to do with the fact that
serious than that.
quarantine.
It feels way more serious than that.
Yeah.
And it just... It's so... What is it? And, like...
And do the others make people sick, or do they cure the sickness?
Do they make people sick so that they can cure it and be the good guys?
Ooh. Like that.
That's
idea.
potential.
Some potential. And then it's like...
Also, is the injections, is that the vaccine? Or is
Yeah.
that a different thing?
So Claire seems to think so, right? Because she's like, oh, I remember it being in this cupboard.
Yeah, but it's like vaccines are not given on a regular basis, are they?
No.
You get a vaccine once, and then you're fine.
But I don't know. I think they're just using vaccine as a shorthand. I
But
don't think we
maybe
need to
it's
read
just-
too much into that.
Hey, maybe I want to read into it.
However, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the detail of the vials. No, but something to point out. This is a Dharma station.
Yeah.
We see the Dharma logo a lot on the walls, on the, like, torches, on Ethan's keyring that he uses to unlock the cabinet, on the vaccines themselves, on the syringes. How much of this is the others co-opting the Dharma technology, or the others being what's left over of Dharma
Yeah.
from the 70s?
Are the others the Dharma Initiative?
Yeah. It's a real
Very
good question.
possible. Because what we see from this episode is that this idea of them being like people who live outside and like wear like scraps and are all scruffy and like Rambo-y or whatever they call whatever it is that Sawyer calls him,
Yeah.
is fake.
Yeah. That's all
a
for show.
costume. They have these lockers that have the clothes, and that beard is fake.
Yeah. And we see him without the beard.
Yeah.
In like a nice
Looking
clean
very
shirt.
like clean and like
Yeah.
you know, and his hair's
What's
like all
going
nice
on
and
there?
styled.
And
They
then
all-
then that made me go, oh, well, maybe Henry Gale's telling the truth then, because he is all raggedy and stuff, and maybe that's just like what he crashed in and how he's had to live in the island.
But what if he
then
put that on
it could be a
purpose?
costume.
What if he got that out of the lockers? It literally
So that
is
solves
like,
nothing.
Which could mean nothing. All of it is like, which could mean nothing.
I think which could mean everything, really.
It, like, and also like, so okay, so let's talk about the conversation between Ethan and
The leader.
the leader, the guy with the beard who doesn't have a beard.
Yeah.
So he seems to be in charge, right? Or at least Ethan defaults to him.
Yes, well, it's interesting because I wrote down basically all of their conversation because I was like, this is very,
It's
very
a lot.
important. So he says, you were supposed to make the list and then bring her in. Was I unclear? right? So that's like,
Clearly
it's
an order.
his order, yeah. And then he's like, it's not my fault. They knew I wasn't on the plane. They had this manifest.
He has to
blah, blah, blah,
improvise
blah, blah.
fair.
But then the beardless bearded guy goes, what am I supposed to tell him?
You know what he's going to do when he finds out, I wrote down. He says after that.
So he answers to someone as well.
Who is he?
Who's he? Him from the Powerpuff Girls.
Him. Can you imagine? He's there with his crab claws.
He crawls out of the ocean. That's how Scott died.
It was him.
Crawled out of the ocean.
It's very interesting. I think also we have this idea of the list, right? The list of their names.
Yeah.
Who they're going to kidnap.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we got from the other 48 days,
Yeah.
is that they took
and again,
people on
the
a
question
list.
is raised of how come, like, they captured people on the tail section so
Immediately.
quickly, and the list happened after 9 days and stuff.
But Ethan took his
Ethan,
time.
and he wasn't even supposed to come as soon as he did. Like, he actually
No.
bumped up the plan. So it's like, why were they so careful about the front section but not the tail
So careless
section?
about the tail section. Is it because there was more of them? There was more danger for the tail section? Maybe it was like, they're not going to survive very long. We need to get who we want as soon as possible.
Maybe it's because they had the kids
Yeah.
already.
This is the other thing I was going to say. It seems that the only people from the front section that the others wanted were Claire and Walt.
As far as we can tell,
As far as we know. So, like, was that the plan? Were they going to come in, swoop in, and take them both at the same time?
Maybe.
Like at the end of series 1, in the ideal world. But obviously
Maybe.
before that, because they had to do it before Claire gave birth. So I guess what would have been taken out? It would have been some point in
Did
the
they
middle.
have to, though? Because they want Claire as well.
Because they said bring her in. They didn't say
Yeah. The
wait for her to
baby.
give birth and then bring the baby. Clearly they're worried about Claire giving birth safely, right? Like, the whole idea, I think, of the giving her, like, a forced C-section is so that they know when she's going to give birth and they can...
Yeah, but isn't that just so that they can have the baby before she runs off?
Well, yes, but also, like, if she's giving birth in the jungle unmedicated, there's a lot of dangers there, you know?
Yeah.
The other thing I noted down is that this means Ethan is his real name.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought that was interesting because I was like, you know, he could be lying.
Yeah.
We know that they've lied about a lot of things.
Yeah.
But the fact that the beard guy with no beard called him Ethan,
Yeah.
Ethan must be his real name.
Yeah. Also, like, it's an anagram, isn't it? Ethan Rom.
Ethan Rom is an anagram for other man, yeah.
So I was a bit like, well, it could be a clever pseudonym.
Yeah.
You know, like much
Like
like Henry
Henry
Gale.
Gale.
But maybe it is his real name. Inconclusive. Once again.
Yes.
But yeah, also the idea that maybe, that's what I was going to say, the tail section were closer to the other's base. Which, I mean, it's now like, where's this medical station though? Because clearly they had enough people over there to set up this whole thing. And that's not
Also,
that far from...
The medical section, the medical hatch is not over the line, also. Because Kate knows where the line is.
Yeah.
And she would have mentioned it.
Yeah.
Surely.
But the line is how big's the line? Is the line a circle? Or is it just like that one bit? Can
Yeah.
they go as far as they want left? Do you
And
know what I
also,
mean?
is the line anything?
Yeah.
Because we know that whole show of, like, we're all, you know, this guys who sleep outside with big torches and we're going to kill you with fire was a lie.
They could still kill him with fire, though, I
They
think.
could still kill them with fire. But, like, it was the line even anything?
Yeah.
Where's Michael?
Where's
They've
Michael?
also crucially abandoned the medical hatch, it seems.
Yes.
There was no
They've
one
gutted
there.
it.
They've gutted it all, but the costumes are still in there.
Yeah, which is interesting. Did they leave them there for them to find? What if it's a double bluff?
It's a mind game!
Oh my god! They're just trying to do psychological, manipulation on these guys. Everything is like, but what if?
But they're not using the medical hatch, so maybe
Yeah,
they
why did they
asked-
abandon that?
Maybe the clean outfits were a guise to trick Claire.
But then where did they get the clean outfits from?
The guys they kidnapped from the tail section.
They weren't very clean.
That's when they were writing down. They were like, a guy who's Ethan's size. Some stuff for Alex, maybe. They're just clothes shopping.
Yeah, very confusing.
So much to think
My
about.
guess is they abandoned the medical station because Claire escaped. So they're like, she might remember where it is and come back. So let's get the hell out of here. Let's take everything. And they left in a hurry, which is why they left the costumes, the beard, and the little...
But they've been back
because
since the
he's
costumes
used the
because he was wearing the beard in Hunting Party, which was way after.
So
Claire
maybe
escaped.
that guy is just using this as a little
Drop off.
closet for himself, yes.
Yeah, maybe. I didn't get a good enough look at the costume to see if they were like other people. I mean, I wouldn't recognize anyone else who's in that scene, so I don't know.
Well, you don't really see them in that scene.
No, they're all in the dark.
There's a couple on the boat, but that was ages ago, man.
But also, they weren't just injecting her with stuff.
They were also drugging the water.
They were also drugging the water. Because it tastes sour.
That great bit. This tastes sour, does it? And then he smells it and goes, oh, shrugs, doesn't drink any of it himself.
Now, what's interesting about that scene also, and Ethan's whole deal this episode...
Cool log. They're sat on a cool log.
They're sat on a great log. But also...
Sorry.
When he says to her, no one is going to take your baby from you. If you don't want to, you have a choice.
Lies. Just spewing lies.
Straight up lies.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a fascinating idea to plant in her head.
Yeah.
Because that, in conjunction with him saying there's not enough vaccine for you and the baby, the implication of that is that he's saying to her, you can keep your baby if you want, but he's going to die.
Yeah. Totally. And then later on, when she's all yelling and stuff, I wrote down, she's like going, Ethan, I want Ethan. She says, I have to give him to them so he'll be safe.
Ethan, I'm sure.
Yeah. So they've planted this idea that a baby's only going to be safe if it's with them.
Which is really feeding off of the idea that she can't raise her baby as well.
Yeah.
Like, psychologically speaking.
Yeah. Just such a good scene.
Also,
so
when
creepy.
it pans around and Claire's standing there, oh my god.
That's fun. That's really
Talking
fun.
about the cinematography of this episode.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But
That goes
then,
crazy hard.
how do you feel about when Ethan says, can I tell you a secret? I'm gonna miss you.
See, this is the thing. I think that is true.
I think that is true.
Because he's not supposed to be taking her outside.
No.
And I can say we can assume he's actually not supposed to. He's not supposed to be being like, wink, wink, don't tell anyone. Like, he actually definitely isn't supposed to be taking her out.
I think so, because he's saying, like, oh, everyone thinks you're going to run away and stuff. Like, I think he's
Yeah.
more talking to himself at that point, because she's so out of it, she's stumbling around, she doesn't know what's going on.
And he's like, she's fine. He's given her extra drug water and she'll be fine.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. I think when he says, I'm going to miss you when we send you back to your camp, I think that's true.
Or does he mean I'm going to miss you when you
Die.
at my hands, at my scalpel?
But maybe they weren't planning on killing her. Maybe it's just that Alex thinks they're going to kill her.
Maybe. That's true.
You know, maybe she just thinks they're going to do a C-section. They're not good. They don't care about her enough to stitch her up again or something.
Yeah. Or, like, it's going to go wrong.
Yeah, maybe that's just her perception of it. Maybe the plan is like, well, if she survives, we'll send her back. But if not, no biggie.
Maybe. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like when he says I'm going to miss you, he is telling the truth.
Yeah, but I don't know, he makes me so uncomfortable in a great way. Like, he's
so
acted
creepy.
so well because he's so creepy, and like when he puts his hand on her stomach, I'm like, no, get him away, get away from her, get a real job. Yeah. So I don't like thinking that he actually does like her and he's formed this connection with her and he's like, I'm gonna miss you once all this creepy bullshit's done.
I guess it's like...
In another life we would have just been mates, but now I have
We're not
to
so different, you and I.
be your torturer.
I guess it's like, also it's this idea that the others are human. As well, isn't it? Because it's like, the perception we have of Ethan and Goodwin is like, they are like... heartless, they're murderers, they kidnap people, they don't care about other people, they have like superhuman beating up skills, they could break all the bones in a guy's body and emerge from the ocean, he's got gills and stuff, and it's like, but it's like if Ethan can feel real emotions, that means the others are real people, and that means that's a different story, you know, that's like how do they know they're the bad guys, how do they know that they're like, what do they think they're doing? Is what it all drills down to.
What do you
It's
think
like,
you're doing?
what do the others think that they're doing? And not in like a, do you know who I am? But like in the sense of like, you know, what do they think the sickness is? Do they believe in it? Do they think that they're saving these people? Do they actually think, like when Goodwin said to Anna Lucia, the kids are in a better place now with us, does he believe that?
Yeah, or has he been brainwashed by the cult?
Yeah. Or are they just saying those things? And are they
Yeah.
actually doing horrible things to them? Like, what is the truth?
Yeah.
So, oh my god, it's
So not only is
so
this
many questions.
episode really interesting and cool from like what actually happens in the episode, but it also raises so many questions about connections into the wider story and mythology, which is why I think it's great, because it's another character heavy episode, but it's also a lore heavy one.
It's lore heavy in the sense of it establishes a loads of things but doesn't quite explain them.
Yeah, which
and
is
in a
great.
way that I really like.
Love.
Because it's like, it's not being like, oh, we're gonna gloss over that and never come back to it again. It's like you really feel like every little detail has been intentionally handed to us.
Yeah.
As like a, this could be the truth about the others, but this could be the truth about the others,
Yeah.
but this could be true, but we don't know.
And handed to us in snapshots with no context around them, because that's how Claire remembers it.
So fascinating.
Really
the one thing
cool.
I did pick up on, and maybe this is a plot hole or maybe this is intentional, I'm not sure, is that when Claire is talking about having amnesia, she says that she's missing 2 weeks of her life.
Yeah.
But when she comes back to the camp, she doesn't remember the plane crashing at all and any of the stuff that happened before. Does this
True.
mean that she now remembers everything that happened before being kidnapped?
Good question. Because we talked about this with Claire and Charlie's relationship as well. Like,
Yeah.
how much does she remember? I think we get the indication, don't we? Like, I think it's Homecoming maybe, where she goes like, oh, I remember peanut butter
Yeah.
and stuff. So, like, I think bits and pieces are coming back to her.
It feels like she's I mean, also, I think she does, we do see her reading her diary, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe.
I feel like there's like a brief callback to like Charlie read her diary and then she reads her diary to try and remember.
I don't remember that.
I could be making that up. I could be completely bullshitting.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I was arguing in Fire Plus Water
Yeah.
that Claire still doesn't remember anything
Yeah.
before coming back.
Yeah, so it's interesting. How much does she remember? And does she remember it in this way? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, is she having those like weird visions and then it's just her and Charlie having a yap? Do you know what I mean?
Something interesting I thought as well about the relationship with Danielle and the rest of the characters in this episode also is the way Kate begins to trust her. I noticed like obviously she like pulls the gun on her in that scene. And now let's talk about that. Danielle stepping towards the gun
Oof.
and saying, please shoot me.
Right.
Really interesting. Awful. But that Kate doesn't, you know?
Yeah. Kate freaks out when she says that.
She's like,
understandably.
whoa!
Yeah.
That in itself is so
Such-
tragic, and the
yeah.
idea of like the loss, you know,
Yeah, and like
and the experience
we get
it's done
such
to her.
little bits of Danielle, but it indicates so much about her.
So much. And then later on, you know, it's like when Claire runs off and they both run after her and Danielle says like, let her look. There seems to be
Love.
a bit of a you know, a bit of a balance.
Sisterhood?
A bit of a sisterhood, if you will. And then when they get into the hatch, Kate just gives them all torches.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're all in this together, we're all looking. She leaves Claire alone with Danielle. It's like something changes,
There's
you
trust.
know?
100%.
And like that I just found really interesting from
Yeah.
Kate especially.
Yes.
A character who famously cannot trust or form relationships with anyone.
Yes.
But the narrative we're being given here is she cannot trust or form relationships with men.
Men.
Because she loves Claire.
Men are a means to an end for Kate.
Shut
I
up,
will
Lisa.
use the men to rob the bank so that I can get my safety deposit box and then I will shoot them. And the marshal basically says that.
Yeah.
And she's like, was I wrong?
Have there been any other, like...
Your Honour, was I wrong?
Women in...
And,
it's just her
and
mum,
the judge is
right?
like, yes, you were. You committed murder.
Misogynist.
I support women's wrongs.
It's just her mum, right? The other, like, woman in all of her backstories, I'm pretty sure.
Ooh, let's think about this. So, the farm one? No women.
His wife's dead.
The Shut Up Jason? No women.
There's other women, like, in the bank, but it's...
Not really. Then we've got Tom.
His wife is out of town. She goes to see her mum, but that's it.
Yeah. And then we've got What Kate Did, haven't we? Is that all the Kate ones that we've had?
Yeah. That's just her mum.
Yeah, I don't think there are any women in that one either.
Now that's really interesting. And I think Kate as a character in terms of gender is super interesting in how her character is presented kind of by the writers and stuff. Because she seems to be... She very much fits that archetype of, like, the woman who's, like, one of the guys, right? But in a way that never quite clicked. Because it's like all the men treat her like a woman. You know, they still, like, don't respect her, and they still don't, you know, let her... You know, we're saying this, always being like, don't come on the missions or whatever.
Yeah.
Versus, like, the way that she is... with the female characters is really interesting. And I know, like, in terms of the reception of Lost at the time of release, lots of fans really hated Kate because they thought she was really annoying and that she was really, like, getting in on everyone's business all the time.
Oh, what? Sorry, I think I just heard the misogyny alarm.
Yeah, I'm like, that's because the men don't fucking listen to her.
Yeah. You only find her annoying because she's there trying to say the right thing and
she
you
has
don't
to
want to
keep
listen
going,
to her.
hey, can I have
Hello?
useful skills
Hello?
for this?
Is this thing on?
I have useful skills, and they're all like, pfft.
Yeah.
And I think that's, like, this is super, like, I just think the sort of relative smoothness of this mission, this event.
So fucking true. As soon as Kate's running the show, everything goes to plan.
Everything is calm and chill.
And sure, she pulls a gun out at basically no provocation, but at the end of the day...
She doesn't shoot it.
No, it de-escalates the situation.
It does.
And think about when she pulls the gun off Sawyer in the pilot, right? And then she's like, how do you take it apart? De-escalation.
Diffusing the situation.
Yeah.
And, like, the fact that also, I think, like, very conveniently, we have Henry Gale has been introduced in a way that ties up Jack and John so they can't get involved. Definitely done intentionally.
I like all of the scenes with the boys in as much as I like all the scenes with the girls in this episode as well.
And I think the reason for that is it's one of those things, we talked about it a little bit with relation to the relationships between the characters, but that it's a really common thing where, like, because there's this belief of, like, men and women as opposites in a lot of older media. I mean, it's still present today, but particularly in older media, like, the further back you go, the more strong it is.
Yeah.
That there's this idea of, like, you know, women and men as totally different things. And then you have, like, if a woman and a man are in, like, a scene or a narrative together, there's this absolute imbalance of behaviour, and it has to be, like, romantic, and that often there is not very much work put into romantic relationships in writing, because it's just like, well, they're a man and a woman.
You do the
Whereas, like, all the work is put more into the same-sex relationships because it's, like, the friendships that are more interesting, which I think is a big part of the reason why a lot of people now, especially, look at, like, you know, male friendships in TV shows and go, like, oh, they're clearly in love with each other. Because it's like they're putting the work in for those relationships in a way that they're not for the romantic relationships.
Yeah.
You know? How much work is put into the relationship between... you know, the dynamic between Jack and John versus the dynamic between, you know, Jack and Kate.
Yeah.
And, like, how easy is the like, bond and the, like, strength of the relationship between Kate and Claire versus between, you know, I was
Claire and Charlie.
Claire and Charlie, yeah. Like, it's not done in the same way.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's so...
That's a really good
interesting.
point that it's very astute that you've picked up on that. I think... You know, it's not hard and fast. Like, there are some really nuanced...
Of course. And especially with a show like this with such a wide range of characters. And I mean, especially, like, Danielle and Saeed,
Yeah.
for example, have
Or
a very
I was
interesting
thinking
relationship.
Anna Lucia and Echo.
Yes,
Have
a
got
very
a brilliant
platonic
relationship. A brilliant platonic one. I think some of the romantic ones as well, like Jin and Sun, I'm very invested in their relationship, and their dynamic is very complex.
They
and
have put a lot of
nuanced.
work into Jin
But-
and Sun.
Like, it's kind of because maybe it's the flirty stuff that they don't do as well.
Yeah.
Like, because Jin and Sun, they're
It's the
already
getting
married.
together, I feel.
Yeah, because
It's-
then it's all about that, isn't it? It's all about sexual tension,
will they, won't they, and
or like,
like,
romantic interest or whatever.
And like a love triangle, and it's like, we don't do that.
Yeah.
If you're gonna put work into the relationship, but work into the relationship.
Because also, what's a more interesting scene to watch? Kate and Sawyer reading a magazine about 10 ways to tell if he's a sensitive man, haha. Or Kate and Sawyer going, I've never killed a man. Looks like we've got something in common.
Yeah.
And I know that's a bad example because I hate that I never seen.
But you've got a point.
You
though.
take my point, right?
Like, the interesting thing about Kate and Sawyer as characters and as a relationship is the fact that they are both criminals and that they see reflections in each other.
Maybe
But,
a better example
like-
is her monologue to him when she thinks Wayne is possessing him.
Yeah.
Like, that's a really good, well-delivered monologue.
That's really
and
interesting.
romance is part of that, right? Because she's like, whenever I feel something for him, I see you. But like, whoa, what a crazy,
That's really powerful.
Yeah,
That's way more powerful
idea.
than like, hey Freckles, you know?
Yeah.
I think Sawyer in this episode, super interesting actually. I know he's only in one scene.
He's at his best when he's in one scene and he supports the women.
But like, you know, he is. But like we said last episode, it's like he's gone through all this work to be like, everyone hates me now, and then he's immediately like, Hurley, I'm sorry, will you help me? Like, Kate goes to him and is like, when like she's like, I want a gun. First of all, he's like, what's going on? He's cares about the others.
Yeah.
Not the others.
Not the others.
The rest of the camp. When she says the baby's sick, he's immediately like, well, I've got medicine. What, like, he's gonna help them.
Yeah.
And then he gives her the gun.
Yeah.
So it's like, so what's the truth, Sawyer?
It was
Clearly
all
you
for
care
show.
about them.
It was all for show in the long con. He didn't mean any of that bullshit.
I do have to say though, as much as I do love all the women in this episode, and I think I love women, I think women should be in the show more. I think
Before I say this point, I just want to say I love women.
I just want to say that I think women are great. But I think it would have been very cute to have like Jin and Sun looking after Aaron together.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice.
Just because, and like Jin was there when Aaron was born and stuff. And there's that really cute scene where where he like says goodbye to the baby when the raft's about to leave. And I was like, oh, that would have been kind of cute to have them together. And also it's like, they're married, but they don't have any children. And so then they're like, well, now we have a baby.
Yeah.
When Claire was like, I don't remember what it was. There was a line that was like, do you have children or have you ever had a baby or something? I was like, they had that really cute dog though.
They did.
They had Popo.
Was Popo not a
They
baby?
had Popo. He
was just a little baby.
Little baby for them.
Little baby. Yeah. That would have been very cute. But, however, we do have to celebrate the fact that, and say it with me, Sun took
Take
the
the
baby!
Son, take the baby.
Sun take the baby! It finally happened!
Finally listen to me. Son, take the baby.
Sun take the baby! We should have a little jingle on this podcast for Sun take the baby. Anytime Sun takes the baby, we have a jingle.
Son, take the baby.
Sun take the baby.
And she did a great job.
As far as we know.
As far as we're aware.
We didn't really see any of it, but I just know she did a good job.
Because
Trust
I
and
was
believe.
also like, you know, Sun is a good person to go to in this scenario also, because it's like Jack, from a practical medical perspective, is like, there's nothing immediately dangerous or worrying about this. But like, Sun knows a lot about like herbal remedies and stuff. She might be able to have something that would just like soothe him, you know?
Yeah.
Make his rash not hurt or help his fever cool down.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
I think she took him to the
Absolutely.
garden
Oh, I hope so.
and she like gave him some, you know, some herbs or whatever.
A little tour.
Told
Speaking
this
Korean
garden.
to the baby in the hopes that it will just absorb into his brain.
Raise the baby bilingual.
Yes, absolutely.
Can you imagine? It's like, you know, the like white boy shocks waiter by ordering in perfect Chinese. It's like white baby shocks mother by first words being
in Korean.
perfect Korean.
I'd be obsessed.
They're like, maybe we shouldn't let Jin and Sun babysit so much.
I would be obsessed.
So funny.
Oh, there is one woman that we forgot about. Rose.
Rose.
Rose is not in this
I was gonna say, I'm
episode.
sure there's another woman, because I was gonna say their relationship is compelling. But their relationship is compelling because they were kept apart.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We've not seen actually all that much of them interacting.
No, which I dislike.
Which is a shame. Thumbs down on that one.
Boo! Where are Rose and Bernard? I forgot they're in it sometimes. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, they're barely on screen, and like, I get that, like, you know, sometimes it's nice to have kind of background characters who then occasionally move forward. But I think because Rose was so prominent at the beginning,
Yeah.
I never think of her as a background character. I think of her as one of the part of the main cast who they just sideline because, I don't know, she's an old lady and they don't care.
Because she's so passive, I guess, there's not many plots to do with her, and it's very similar to what they have with Claire, where it's like often all of her mobility as a character is either tied to the fact that she's pregnant or she's got a newborn baby, so she can't really go anywhere or do anything.
True, like Russo. Rose is not going to be out running into the jungle, is she?
No.
Realistically, she's not about that.
She's not doing that.
No.
She's not doing all that.
Yeah. So, fair enough. But
So, like,
not fair
but
enough.
also I would like to see them.
I would like to see her.
You know, it's like we had Hurley come in and be like, Bernard's a dentist and he's got a radio. Could we not have seen that conversation? Hurley's hanging out with Rose and Bernard. That's cute.
Yeah. Just like every now and then in the back of a scene. I'm not asking for much. But maybe she could have left the baby with them. Or something. Or like maybe it could have been, I don't know, a scene where Son goes to Rose and is like, oh, you're looking after the baby? Yeah, Claire's gone off, blah, blah, blah.
You know what
Queen
I think
out.
would be really interesting?
And then we get all the women. We just tick them off. Yes, go on.
I think it would be really interesting to see an interaction between Rose and Echo. Because Rose, do you remember when Rose prays over Charlie?
Yeah.
And she's like, for like healing and strength and like for Aaron and stuff. I think that would be very interesting to have that in sort of connection with Echo.
Because she's like a Christian, it seems, and now we've got a Christian priest on the island. How come they haven't had an interaction? That's such a good point, actually.
They would be really interesting.
He should be running island mass, and Rose and Bernard would be in attendance. And Charlie will kind of be there in the sulking in the background with his hood up, like,
Charlie,
I'm conflicted right
Echo
now.
builds a confession booth so Charlie can go in and be like,
Just to,
can I trust the baby?
So Charlie can air his feelings.
Claire's mad at me, and Echo's like, okay, tell me more.
7 Hail Marys. Yeah.
Echo's doing crazy shit in this episode. Now that we talk, look at that for a successful segue.
That was amazing.
That was unintentional.
Can I just say?
I realised as we started talking about Echo, I was like, oh, this is going to make a great segue.
Oh, so it was intentional.
It was not intentional. I didn't bring up Echo to try and segue. But then when we started talking about him, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Crazy shit happening.
Oh. First of all, he gets introduced shirtlessly chopping down a tree.
Why is he chopping down loads of trees? Question mark.
It's got the X on it.
It's got the X on it. So when he was marking the trees that he likes,
Yeah.
those are the trees he's going to chop
It's
down.
interesting because, like, when the trees got burnt, so, like, a lot of trees got burnt, didn't they? When Charlie set that fire, and there's that shot of him looking sick as fuck in the ash. And I was like, oh, so his tree's burnt down or something. But no, it seems like he's still going on with this project of chopping down trees
Whatever
that he
he's
likes.
up to. So he needs a saw. He goes to the hatch.
Yeah.
Henry's in the bathroom.
Henry's having a shit.
Let's talk about Henry being supervised in the bathroom, because that's hilarious.
Obsessed with, do you need to go to the bathroom? No. What's he been doing then for 2 days? Pissing in the corner? So Henry's hilarious in this episode, but we'll get to him. Let's talk about Echo first.
Echo, just immediately, it's the way he comes to Jack and he's like, can I have a word? Who is he?
And Jack's like, what? Such a bad actor. Huh? Matthew Fox is a great actor.
He's a really
Jack
bad liar.
Is a bad actor.
He's a
bad
really
liar.
bad liar.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know what you're talking about, Echo. And the
man
fact that
you're keeping in the
he's
hatch. Did
like,
John tell you? John didn't tell me anything.
he just literally, I mean, the door was open.
Yeah.
He saw the bed.
It's not rocket science.
He put 2 and 2 together.
But
It's his
Echo
first
just
rodeo.
straight up blackmails him.
Yeah.
Straight up.
I want to talk to him. The fact that he's figured out, also, he's gone through the process of like, why would they be keeping a man in the hatch? It must be because he's one of the others. I want to go talk to him.
Well,
or
where's he
whatever.
come from, first of all?
Yeah.
It must be one of them. One of them.
One of
as
them.
we know.
Well,
it's really
all right
fun
then.
because like we know that Echo has this past of like being the lead of this like drug dealer gang.
Yeah.
You know, but no one on the island knows that, and they all think of him as just like this priest. And so like, are they not shocked when he comes out with things like that? Like,
I don't know. He's just got so much gravitas, and they just
whatever you
accept
say, beautiful.
Well, this is
What's
the
that?
thing.
I'm not arguing with a man with big brown eyes. Whatever you
Whatever
say, beautiful.
gorgeous. Like that. But also, I mean, the tail section saw him kill 2 men with a rock. So
Oh, tail section, no Echo on some level. I mean, the main
cast, yeah.
guys. Tail section, like, yeah, that's Echo. That's just Echo.
Let's just entertain this scenario from Henry Gale's perspective for a second. You've been kept in a vault for 2 days.
Yep.
Yesterday, you were beaten the shit out of by someone who was convinced you were lying, was yelling, "Tell me the truth," to the point where someone else had to drag him off of you.
Yeah.
They open the armory door, and standing there is a huge fucking man with a big wooden stick.
Shitting his pants.
Oh my god, I'm gonna die.
If he hadn't just done a shit, he would be shitting again.
This is how I end.
Yeah.
It's all over.
Yeah.
And then he pulls a knife.
And you're like, I'm like, I need to say my prayers, and he's like, good thing I'm a priest. What? Yeah, and then he pulls a knife out.
Then he pulls a knife. The way
So good!
his face when Echo pulls the knife out is like, whoa.
So good.
Incredible.
Because obviously those two didn't know he had the knife on him as well.
Nope.
Definitely.
Otherwise, I'm sure they would have made him give it up.
Where did he get the knife from? Who's to say? I don't care. Doesn't matter.
Don't care. Don't care.
I like what he says, though. So
What he says is super interesting, though.
I wrote, Echo loves a good hello.
He introduced himself. He's polite.
He is.
Everyone, he's like, hello. Nice to meet you. My name is Mr. Echo. Shakes his hand.
Shakes his hand. My name is Mr. Echo.
Are they treating you well?
Cool as shit. Yes, interesting that he says, are they treating you well? And then he starts yapping, and then he's like, you need to stop talking, Henry.
You need to fucking shut up about the sea.
Literally.
Yeah, the way he starts, as soon as he starts complaining about the situation, Echo's like, that's not what I'm here for.
Yeah. So he talks about killing the 2 men, and he says, I'm back on a righteous path. I regret my actions, and I ask for your forgiveness. Now that's interesting.
And he also says, I think Henry says something along the lines of, why are you telling me this? And he says, because I need to tell someone.
So I think it doesn't actually matter to Echo whether Henry is one of the others or not. He's just the figure of absolution, I guess.
It's a bit of a Schrodinger's cat situation. Schrodinger's other.
Schrodinger's other.
While he remains in the armory, he is both an other and not an other.
Great. But is that even relevant to Echo? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, when he says, I want you to know how sorry I am, that does feel like he believes he's an other, but he doesn't believe that the others are this big evil monolith.
Mm.
And he's like, I am sorry for killing those people, your people.
Yeah.
But also, it seems that it doesn't matter too much.
Well, because think about what taking a life means to Echo.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Someone who has been in such like a sinful, quote unquote, sinful life and taken so many lives and then been on this kind of spiritual redemption journey after his brother died and all of this. Yeah, I think him being back on the righteous path is very weighty when he says that, you know, and like this is really important for Echo and for his journey. Like, whether, you know, Henry then reports back and is like, guys, he said he was sorry, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, interesting when you think about basically the polar opposite to Saeed last week, because, well, 2 weeks ago, but last episode, because he's like, I know he's lying because I felt no guilt for what I did to him. But even though those 2 men were trying to kidnap Echo and he killed them in self-defense, he still feels immense guilt for what he did to them.
Yeah. And he knows that they potentially wanted him dead. at the time, you know, he was fighting for his life.
Yeah.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
And to have, you know, they have, like, Saeed and Echo, obviously they don't have similar pasts, but they have similar pasts in the sense of they've both, you know, been taught to fight from a young age, and they've both committed atrocities, and they're both, like,
Yeah.
you know, coming to the island with all of this, like, combat knowledge and stuff.
Yeah.
The two are to be taking such different routes when it comes to the idea of, like, one of them is super interesting.
I only did what I needed to survive, and then a bunch of other stuff I felt like doing.
Yeah.
But
And
who
so
could I be talking about? Either of them.
what we learn as well is that he didn't just take a 40-day vow of silence when he killed the men.
No.
He also grew these two little nubbins on his beard.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would call those.
I think nubbins is a good word.
Nubbins.
And then cuts them
And
off.
now when he cuts them off, oh boy. First time we watched that, I thought that was the end of Echo. I have to be honest with you. I thought he was going to be like, I ask for forgiveness, and then just, like, slit his throat.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
that's horrifying.
Yeah.
And I think you are supposed to think that.
Of course you're supposed to think that. First you think he's going to kill him, then you think he's going to kill himself, then he just
And then
cuts
it's
the blade
like,
off.
and he
Really,
gives
really good scene.
the bits of beard to Henry Gale, and then
And Henry's like, what's happening?
the way Henry Gale, I think, regardless of whether he's an other or not, has no idea what's going
Baffled
on.
by the situation.
No idea how to react, what to do, what he's going to do next.
Yeah.
At any given moment, I think he was like, Echo could just do anything.
Yeah.
Loose
Agent of Chaos.
cannon.
Yeah, loose cannon completely. But yeah, really, really cool. And if you've listened to the interview episode with our mum, this is one of her favourite moments.
She loves this bit because
When-
she
loves Echo.
She loves Echo, and she loved Henry Gale as well.
Yes.
So she was really into this scene.
Yeah. And it's a great scene. You can't deny it.
It's
but
a great scene.
I have to say, I think my favourite Henry moment of the episode, and one of his best moments, I think, is... I just don't understand why you let the doctor call the shots.
Get his ass. First of all, get his ass.
First of all, get his ass. Second of all, he's entered his little bitch era.
It's the way that what the fascinating information we get from this episode is that Henry can hear everything that's happening in the hatch.
Yeah.
And now we talk about great Henry lines. I loved, what else are we going to do with him? How about you let me go?
Really funny, but also sinister, because he's been listening this whole time, and he
Yeah.
can hear them. But it's at this moment that he chooses to reveal the fact that he can hear them. Interesting. He's playing mind games.
When he says...
He is mastermind puppeting this situation.
Talking about Dostoevsky and Hemingway. I don't really know anything about either of them as figures, so I don't know how effectively the parallels are drawn to any
As soon
characters.
as John started talking about Hemingway, I was like, he's back on his bullshit.
Yeah. I liked that it seemed like he was just talking.
Yeah.
When he said that one, though. There was no, like, extension of the metaphor.
Because it
was
kind
like-
of ended quite after like 2 sentences, and then he went, what's the plan here, Jack?
I think also he seems to have kind of changed his stance on keeping Henry in the armoury.
I think he's being genuine when he's asking what the long-term plan is.
I guess they just have to figure out a plan. And I think it's because he has to make Claire not go to the hatch at the beginning of the episode, doesn't he? When he says, I'll go get Jack, you stay
Yeah.
here. It's like, he's not saying that because he doesn't want to go into the jungle at night. He's saying that because he's like, you can't find out that there's
I
someone in
think
there.
2 things can be true. I think it's a bit of both.
Both things can be true, but it's like he obviously goes, we can't keep people out of the hatch forever.
But I was a bit like, why is Jack sleeping on the sofa? We know there's a bed right there. And then I went, oh, he's guarding the door, isn't he?
Yeah.
So, like, I think both of them are a little uncomfortable with the whole situation. Jack more so in, like, the torture aspect. But, like, I don't think either of them are happy about hiding this guy. And they're kind of, I guess kind of making it up as they go along. And John's
Yeah.
uncomfortable with that as an idea as well. He's like, we need a plan. Yeah. And then Jack's like, well, let me ask you this, John. He's so over it. We don't have a long-term plan for the button, but we keep pushing it, don't we?
I love that every time John tries to make a dig at Jack, he's just like,
The button.
you fuck off with your computer.
Go play your little game.
He's still mad at him about that.
Yeah.
He's mad as hell about the time he was like, you have to do it, Jack. He's mad as hell about that.
Mad as hell.
And it's hilarious.
But do you know what? I love that scene.
It's so good.
And talking about how this episode is disorienting. That episode is called Orientation.
Coincidence? Do
Or
not
fate.
mistake coincidence for fate. I wonder if Echo thinks it's fate that Henry Gale was found. Let's not get into that. Now, yeah, so he can hear everything that's happening in the hatch.
And then he goes, so which one are you? Are you the
genius
genius?
or the one who's living in the shadow of the genius?
Hilarious. Right, he's just
messing
like
with him.
sowing
Like,
the seeds of conflict.
He's just trying to get them to infight, because if they infight, then he can escape. Like, it's so...
Or is he? Or is this the plan all along? Like, I mean, we've seen Ethan this whole episode psychologically manipulating Claire. Maybe this is all part of the other's plan to get in their heads, to get inside of Jack and John's heads.
Yeah, maybe Henry is some kind of, like, kamikaze, you know, member who it's like, we're going to send you in there and we don't care if they kill you, you have to sow doubt into the group.
How insane would that be?
Crazy. Yeah.
Or is it just a desperate guy trying to be like, this is the only way out that I can see?
And I guess it's like, if he can relate to them, they won't. It's like what we're saying about him making the jokes with Saeed.
Yeah,
like,
maybe he's trying
to like fawn. He's trying to like be my friend.
Get John on side and make him more mad at Jack. And so
Jack
it's like us versus him.
Jack's being mean to you. You should let me go.
Let me go. That will really piss him off.
It could be. It could be any of those things. Yeah. And I think what's super interesting, after he says, I don't understand why you let the doctor call the shots, John is like, no, that's not true. And he's like, oh, sorry. Guess I just misunderstood. And then when John closes the door and he like smashes all that stuff against the floor, Henry can hear him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't react.
No, but we see like a reaction shot to let us know he's heard that and he's remembered that.
He like sits up and looks to the door.
But we don't really see anything on his face.
He doesn't look scared. He doesn't look happy.
Very blank.
Doesn't look... Yeah.
Interesting.
Much to think about. Much to discuss.
As I've said, he's got a little bit of sass to him, which I really enjoy and
it's
I love.
Really fun.
I just don't understand why you let the doctor call the shots. Regardless of the intention, I think
Hilarious
the actor is putting some mustard on it.
Hilarious also because that's objectively untrue. Because Jack actively wanted to free him, and I think that's very interesting as well. If like
he's not trying to appeal to Jack, he's not trying to be like, Jack, help.
Jack, ow, my shoulder, ooh, ow, because that's what I would be doing if I was in that situation.
Because also he's clearly the one who's most sympathetic towards him.
Jack's the one who was like trying to look after him and has been like, you can't lock him in there and you can't torture him. Does this indicate that maybe Henry knows more about the group dynamics than he's letting on?
Or maybe he really is there just to sow seeds of doubt.
Yeah.
Just to make John angry. I do have to say I don't like the bit where he throws all the plates on the floor.
It is a bit like, come on, we've done the angry old man thing.
It's just a bit obvious, and it's also like, no one has ever done that in real life.
Yeah.
In movies and TV, so much, someone will be so angry that they, like, throw everything off a table or, like, smash something, and, like, literally nobody's ever done that.
I'd be like, that's my mug. I may be angry, but like that's my plate.
Yeah. I need that.
You know what? I'd be more angry if I have to go buy more plates.
Yeah. I would love to see like a comedy version of that actually. Do that and then it's like, and this happened and that happened and now I need to buy a whole new set of crockery.
Yeah. It just doesn't happen in real life, and I think also it had to be a big outburst, right? So that Henry could hear it from inside the vault. And
visual as well.
But I think it would be so much more interesting if that was like a look to the door or a look to Jack or like more of a psychological moment from John.
I mean, it does fit with John's character because he does have these anger outbursts.
Do that.
And like, you know, in the flashback after the kidney gets stolen when he punches the wing mirror and stuff. I actually really like that one because that one does seem a bit more realistic, and also he is at rock bottom at that moment.
Yeah.
Like, it is just, what do I do? I can't comprehend anything. I just need the catharsis. So I really like that. But he's not at rock bottom right now. He's been in way worse places than, I just don't understand why he let the doctor call the shots.
Yeah.
So it just feels a bit childish. Like he's just throwing a strop, but it's just a bit like...
It's not quite there.
Yeah.
It's not it. It's not it, John.
But everything else in this episode, basically, I'm a fan of.
Pretty much. I got, like, no criticisms.
It's one of our favourites. We talk about it a lot. We revisit it a lot. I had one day where I was, like, super feverish last year, and I was just like, all I want to do is lie in bed and watch Lost, and I watched this episode amongst others.
Something interesting
Yep.
that I remember writing down, kind of linking together the two plot lines of this episode, is Jack's reaction to Aaron getting sick, right? He's very practical about it, and he's very like, he'll be fine.
Just like a male doctor telling you you're making it up.
Well, yes. And also just like he's very...
I'm kidding.
He's objective and medical about it.
Yeah.
But that, I think, raises interesting implications in terms of, does Jack believe Henry's story? What does he think about the sickness? Like...
He seems to be firmly saying to Claire, there is no such thing as the sickness.
There is no sickness, he is fine.
Now, is he saying that to make her feel better?
That's what I was
or
thinking.
Is it what he actually believes?
Because he seems to believe Henry, right? Or at the very least he thinks that they shouldn't be torturing him in case it's true. So does he believe that his wife got a fever and died? Because if that happened, surely he should be a bit more worried about Aaron. But maybe it's just because he's, you know, medically trained or whatever, he's able to be more objective about individual situations, but like, surely a pattern is emerging.
Yeah, that's interesting. Him being like, none of us have gotten sick. You know, we've all been here 2 months or whatever, none of us have gotten sick. But Henry's there saying his wife got sick and died.
Yeah.
Rousseau's there saying everyone in her camp got sick. But it's like, how do we don't trust these people? They're unreliable narrators, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think that's, like, interesting as to what Jack believes, you know?
But then again, does Jack even know that aspect of Henry's story?
That's true, how much has Sayid told them.
Yeah. But it is interesting, for sure.
I just thought, that presents something interesting, and I think Jack is a really interesting character in these kinds of moments, because it's like, it almost feels like he's like two different characters in different moments, you know?
Yeah.
Like when also because when he's with John, I think he's just immediately pissed off.
Yeah.
He's already at
He sees that bald head floating in and he's like, this guy.
He's already at a 4.5 and climbing rapidly, you know? He's like, get away from me.
Yeah.
Whereas like with Claire, you know, he's much more calm.
Yeah.
But I think it's like, it's really interesting to see a return of the like confident kind of doctor.
We haven't seen that for a while.
From, like, all the stuff that's been going on that's been, like, really getting to him recently.
Yeah.
And when, like, Claire says, you know, thank you so much, and he, like, laughs and says, like, I didn't do anything. And I was like, oh, this is, like, it's really sweet. And it's, like, he's not really... We've not had these moments before. Everything with Jack is so serious right now. And this is something that he's much more, like, he's, like, confident and comfortable. And, like, it's like a total transformation of him, you know?
That you're totally right. But I do think it's interesting especially when we've had the previously on, and like this scene comes very early into the episode. Like I think it's only just after the title sequence, right?
Yeah, very early.
And it's like, we've seen in the previously on, the scene where Claire is going like, he was injecting me with something, he was trying to take my baby, he was trying to hurt my baby. And we remember, well, you might remember at the very least, that Jack thought that she was not making it up, but he thought that she was hallucinating.
Yeah.
And so he tries to give her a sedative.
Interesting.
That's very interesting when you look at Ethan's behaviour.
Mole. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Obviously not. He's not a mole.
Obviously that's not true, but wouldn't that be a plot twist?
He's been long conning the camp from the beginning.
He's the real Ethan Rom.
Let's see who this other really is. But like, being more genuine.
Yeah.
Stop goofing around.
No, sorry.
Trying to make a point. No, I'm joking. Like, he then felt so guilty in the next episode, didn't he, when Claire did get kidnapped, and he was like, I tried to give her sleeping pills, and I tried to stop her, and I didn't believe her.
Those Cowboys, yeah.
But when she comes to him again with a medical issue, again, he's dismissing her. Now, how do we feel about that? Is he making the same mistake again, or is he, like, actually being more objective about it, because he's like, okay, Claire, I remember what happened last time. I'm going to take what you're saying seriously. I'm going to have a look at him. But no, I still think it's nothing.
I think Jack is viewing it as, like, the same, both scenarios. He's assessing from a perspective of normal life and normal medical training, right? Like, instead of...
It's very common in children his age, all of that kind of stuff.
Instead of in the context of where they are.
Yeah.
You know? He sees, you know, Claire's, like, hallucinations as, like, stress, and as, like, the birth hormones and stuff, which is normal, and it's very normal. So it's, like, you know, a lot of, like, postpartum psychosis is a huge thing, and postpartum depression and stuff, and it's, like, those things affect a lot of mothers, and so in a normal scenario, it would be a rational conclusion to come to that that's what it's causing it. Man of science in the same way that it's like, this is common for babies. Babies get sick really easily because they have very weak immune systems. Yeah. That's it. And it maybe reinforces this idea that he's still on the science train.
But then it's really interesting when you contrast the two doctors that we have in this episode.
Yeah.
Jack and Ethan, right? Thinking of Ethan as a doctor, first of all.
Fascinating.
Such a contrast to the Ethan that we've seen before. And, like, you know, there's been doctor on doctor violence. Think about the fact that they were beefing so much, and then it's like, we are medical professionals. But is he a medical professional?
Do no harm. I have to do no harm.
Fuck. I mean, I think we don't trust Ethan at all. I don't trust his medical opinion at all.
No.
He's actively drugging Claire.
But do we trust his medical opinion? Because what does he know about the sickness?
He's been on the island for a long time. He knows the island.
He's practicing medicine in the context of the island.
Yes. Now, whether that's a good or a bad thing...
What medicine he's practicing...
is for us to try and figure out.
But he is viewing everything contextually.
Yes.
Which Jack is not.
No.
Which is interesting.
But we don't know anything about the sickness. Like, how much do they know about the sickness? Maybe as little as we do. We don't know. Did they create the sickness because they're secretly evil and they're actually trying to infect people?
Did they inject Aaron with some kind of disease
to make him sick
that he's now developed?
Could be. I mean, obviously the fever's broken, so...
He's probably fine.
But maybe he's so good because he's being raised by Claire and everything, you know, the goodness is fighting the evil
her psychic
sickness.
Powers.
Yeah, exactly. Their joint psychic powers together. But also interesting when you think about Rousseau saying the others were the ones who brought the sickness to her camp, the Whispers or whatever. Like, they're the carriers. Who's just shown up at camp? Another.
Very true.
Henry Gale is passing the sickness around.
He, like, coughed on Saeed.
Yeah.
Saeed went back to the beach. Why didn't I go for John? He coughed on John. John went to sleep.
No, he coughed on Saeed. Let's figure this out. Saeed
got dragged out of the vault by Jack. Jack was hitting John. No, that happened before.
No, I was going to say, he coughed on Saeed's hand. Saeed then washes his hands and his hair very seductively in the group water supply.
Oh,
then we
it's
all
in the water!
Dip our water bottles in and drink it.
Chemicals in the water that turn the frickin' frogs gay.
Turning the frickin' frogs gay. Turn the frickin' babies sick.
And maybe everyone is sick. Maybe everyone is... Okay, I'll give you a minute.
That was so unnecessary.
And maybe everyone is sick.
And Aaron's just the first one to show it.
The first one presenting symptoms because his immune system sucks because he's a baby.
Yeah. We'll
see that develop. Or not develop. Which could mean nothing.
More tonight. And imagine if News Reason has said, we'll see that develop or not develop. Your guess is as good as mine. See you at 7.
Truly lost. Truly lost. It's like, and next week, more questions.
That's amazing.
Let's see what happens with that, or doesn't happen. Now, interesting what you said about the 2 doctors we had.
Yeah.
Because when you said the 2 doctors we had, I thought you were going to bring up Libby again.
Of course.
So really, we've got 3 doctors.
Really, we've got 4 doctors. Bernard.
Where's Bernard in all this?
Yeah, Bernard!
Bernard, the baby has a fever. Maybe he's teething. Oh, really? You would say that.
You asked for my help! He's like, I'm not interested in that baby until it gets teeth. Until he's a paying customer, get him away from me.
Call me when he grows his first tooth.
Can I tell you something very quickly?
Go on.
This girl that just started at work, I was chatting to her and she was saying that she's a student and she's studying dentistry. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I feel like I don't meet many people who are studying dentistry, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We're chatting. And then she goes, oh, I've got an exam tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, really? And she's like, yeah, but it's not that bad. It's just like a 10-minute oral examination. And I so quickly went, aren't all your examinations oral? And then I was like, sorry. She's like, yeah, I get that a lot. And I was like, yeah, sorry.
I thought you were going to say you were being like, so what medical training do you get?
Trying to do research for the podcast. Next time I see her.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah. They do. She's on a 5-year course, like doctors are.
That's the same doctor training. Surely there's not that much to learn about teeth. Takes 5 years.
Maybe it's the full body doctor training.
Maybe. No, so what I was going to say about Libby is she has a very different, obviously, medical field.
Yeah.
But also a very different perspective on the whole situation, right? Because she's from the tail section, first of all, so she views the others as much more of a threat.
Yeah.
So, to her, surely, the idea that the others could make people sick or could, take the children and stuff is much... She's more likely to believe that, I feel. Yeah. We don't see much of her opinion on the situation.
No, but in a way we should. Actually, you've raised a good point. Like, I know she's not very gung-ho herself, but she knows how to defend herself. She's had to learn. And so, like, in a way, she should have come on the trip with them. Because she's like... She
could have helped out.
The others take kids, I know. I watch them do it.
Yeah. So... Question mark about that one.
She is terrified of them, isn't she? And I think, when Anne Lucy is like... That's what's nice about you people, you're not scared enough. I think Libby has kind of gone, it's nice here to not be scared.
I can relax.
And she's kind of faded into the background, partially because they kind of never knew what to do with her in the first place, so they've kind of just not really given her the time of day at the minute. But also because if you think about it in universe, it makes sense because she's like, I can relax now and I can have fun and I can have a cute little island romance and I can live my best life.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, carry
Interesting. On. But yeah, no, what I was going to say is that, like, she is also, like, she spends a lot of that scene, like, trying to calm Claire down and, like, be like, you have to, like, breathe and be, like, a calm and or whatever. And being like, everything's okay, your baby is here. But, like, she, like... Where am I going with this? It's like, there's something in my brain. I'm going to keep talking until I get there.
Okay, go for it.
So, the idea that she thinks that, like,
I'm riding this train of thought till the end. Let's go. Choo-choo!
That Claire has put a block in her own brain, her memories, and is trying to help her unlock those, is interesting in and of itself, but it means, like, she believes on a level that something is wrong, right? Because she...
Trauma.
Is trying to help her. Yeah. Yes.
And Claire's experienced a trauma of some kind and her brain has blocked it out.
She is able to see this is something that has happened. Yeah. It's something she obviously knows about, because she's not like, I don't know how to approach this, let's try something. She's very confident with the whole situation. Yeah. That's interesting. And I really wish we could have seen a bit more of, like, when Claire talks about what she saw in her memories, what Libby thought of that. As a psychologist and talking about trauma and memory, but also as someone who's experienced the real wrath of the others. Yeah. What she thinks, Yeah. And, like, whether she thinks it's a good idea for them to be going off into the jungle. Yeah. Whether she's, like, also, like... Jack, like, I don't know. I mean, obviously everything had kind of been ransacked, but surely, like, if they told Jack about what they found, he'd be like, let's go see this medical hatch.
Well, maybe they will.
Maybe they will.
You know, they only just got back. Give him a second.
He's busy looking at Aaron's rash, I guess.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, there's an interesting medical perspective there and a psychological medical perspective, and, like, looking at, like, you know, just, like, memory processing and emotions and, like, how the sedation may have affected her memory, and I think that's something that we're probably not going to get to see.
Yeah.
Because ain't nobody give a fuck about Libby.
Yeah.
You know?
It's really... Because, like, whenever I'm watching this episode, I'm always like, I never really liked Libby as a character. And I was kind of neutral on her.
Yeah,
right?
I wasn't like,
I didn't
she's
hate
here,
her,
but I was like, where's she?
I was like, yeah. And then I'm kind of like, okay, she's only in 2 minutes of this episode. She serves her narrative purpose. She's quite good in the scenes. And then we move on. Great. But actually, you've raised a really good point now where I'm like, no, actually, she should have been in it for longer. And I think... she's a very underused character because she's very interesting. First of all, we know nothing about her yet. We've had our flashbacks for 2 of the tale section, but not for the other 2. And she's, like, not been... Yeah, we don't know... We obviously know that Bernard's, like... His flashbacks are going to involve Rose, aren't they? Like,
yeah, so we know a bit more about Bernard's life.
His life, we know nothing about her life, really, apart from she broke her leg on a ski trip once and she's a clinical psychologist.
And she did a year of med school and then...
But also what's happened to her on the island has been so interesting. And, like, it seems like when... Yeah, they're not really thinking about that when Claire comes to her in this moment.
No. It seems like they're going to her as a means to an end because she's a psychologist. Like you said,
Yeah.
she serves a purpose in the narrative and then she fucks off again. Like,
Yeah.
she should... have more to say. She should have more to do. And I think...
I'd like to hear her opinion,
Yeah.
I think.
As a person,
as
not
a woman.
as a psychologist. As a woman of
As
science.
a woman supporting women, I want to hear her opinions on the situation. Yeah, no, but seriously, because it's like, I think she would be like, you can't go after them. Like, it's
They're
so
dangerous.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, they were all so terrified of the others for so long.
And I think, like, we get a little bit of that in that she's like, calm down, she doesn't say be rational, but she essentially says be rational.
I think she's more worried about Claire's well-being in that moment,
this is the
though,
thing.
right? It's like,
in
you're
that
screaming.
Scene, and that pissed me off as well when in that scene, everyone's being like, Claire, you're okay, take a deep breath. I'm like, she's not alright. How about, hey Claire, what did you remember?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's
How about-
true. But she did
How
just...
about, look, your baby is okay, everything,
Yeah,
we're still here.
yeah.
Like, Ethan's not gonna get you. Because she's like looking around. She's like, I saw Ethan. And she looks around her.
I think there's the essence of that, though. Libby's like saying, you're okay, you're safe. Like, you're not in that memory, you're here, you're with us. I think that's implied, I think. I don't think they're like, you're hysterical. Felt like it. I think, you know, she's suddenly started screaming and they're just trying to keep her calm.
But that's also interesting because it's like going into a meditation and then you start screaming. Like, that's
Me for real. You know, in an episode which is all women, not as much lesbian stuff going on, but that scene, I think you noticed it too. Claire steps towards Kate and she's like, I wrote it down, hang on, where is it? She's like, I need to find that place. Steps towards her. Kate, please help me find it. And I wrote down, moving in for the kiss. Their faces were very close together.
Their faces were very close. The fact that Kate takes Aaron as well in that scene.
Yeah.
She's like off to the side with him. Also, when it's like, listen to the sounds of the beach, I'm like, babe, all I'm listening to is the sound of my baby crying. Yeah. Like,
Not
take him further away.
She also said, like, forget everything about this environment and then listen to the waves. I'm like, so what's the truth? Which one do you want me to do?
What are we doing? She doesn't have her white noise machine, okay? She's improvising. But yeah, no, she was for sure going in for the kiss. I think that moment, there's like the one clip, and the reason why I think of it, like the reason why I recognize it, I've seen it in a couple of like edits and stuff, and I always recognize it because of Claire's hair being tied back, because I was like, that's a really cute look, and she never does that again, I don't think. Is when she gives Aaron to Son, and then she turns around and like walks away with Kate, and I was like, that feels like a holding hands moment.
Yeah. She did put her arm around her, like, sort of tapped her backpack a bit. Like, not around her shoulders,
Yeah,
but
like-
kind of like, sort of like a let's go.
But that feels like
But
come
no.
on, hold my hand, let's go.
I wrote down-
Who's on, you know, it's maternity leave, Kate's the father. She's gone back to work.
Paternity.
She's
clocking in. Yeah.
She's gone back to work while her wife is at home on maternity leave.
Yeah.
That's what's happening here.
Yeah.
Clocking in for my long day at the button factory.
Oh, the button. I was like, what? They're making buttons to like put on shirts is what I was thinking.
Yeah, it didn't quite work. Usually it's like something else. My long day at the Holding Guns factory. She's got a lot of responsibilities.
She does.
She has to yell at all the men.
Yep. Big responsibility.
She has to babysit Sawyer and stop him from doing insane things. She's been slacking on that one a little bit recently.
She has.
She has to chase that horse down.
Horse wrangler.
And then it's like, and then she comes home and it's like, hey, the baby's ill. God, gotta go to work.
Also, you need to keep my ex-boyfriend out of the house. He keeps trying to come back and steal him. What?
Okay.
Yeah, he's trying to steal the baby. It's a whole thing.
Oh, okay. This is my long day at the keeping Charlie away from Claire factory. This is kind of Claire. Really, Kate's job is keeping everyone away from Claire.
Yeah.
So even when, like, in the first scene when Rousseau just pulls up in the beginning and she's like, he's infected, and Kate just pulls up and it's like, get away from her. I'm like, yes, girl.
You know that meme where I think it's Kevin Hart maybe, and he's like attached to that woman, I think, and then she's pointing like, get away.
Yeah.
That's Claire, that's Kate, and that's everyone else.
Everyone else. Don't even look at her.
Absolutely. But instead of pointing, it's a gun. I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna have so much fun making that. In conclusion, one of the best episodes ever.
In conclusion, let's see that develop. Or not develop. Or do something else.
Tune in next week.
Come back next week to see this plot develop or not develop, or something else happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, think about the great thing about this show, and also the frustrating thing about this show, is it will introduce things and then be like, will we ever see that unfold? We don't know. And then this is like the unfolding of something that happened mid of season 1. So, like,
this is something, what I like about the introduction of this as a plot line is that it's something that we, like, at least I had kind of accepted we would never find out about.
Yeah.
It was like Claire got taken and then she came back and we don't know because she has amnesia. And now it's like, but we're gonna find out.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
And it's really exciting when they go, guess what? You're gonna have an answer to one of your questions. We're like, yay, yippee, yay, you know? And it's like, this episode is really good for that because it's something that I kind of forgotten about in the slew of everything that's happened. Do you know what I mean? Like, since Claire came back from being kidnapped by the others, we've, you know, had one of them. We've had the season finale, like, one of them being killed, I mean, that's what I meant to say. We've had Charlie shooting Ethan. Do you know what I mean? We've had,
yeah, that's great to think
Boom,
about that,
death.
like, Ethan's dead.
Yeah.
Throughout all of this. And, like, you know, beard no beard guy is like, was having a go at him, but it's like, he's dead now.
He's dead now. Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. We've had so much in between then and now, and it's really cool to see it come back. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Ethan is dead. Maybe they're like,
Ethan's
are
dead,
they? How
Ethan's
mad
dead.
are they about that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting because like the infiltrators of both camps have both died. Like,
So it's like, were they disposable people? Are they upset? Like, clearly they were both good at what they do,
yeah.
you know?
Oh, I was gonna mention Milgram because of Ethan in the white coat. I feel like it's very Milgram-y. And
Clock
like,
it.
When that first scene, I really like that first one where she's in the hospital bed. Because first of all, like, I know it's a prosthetic, but it looks really like, you know, she's in the hospital gown and then you can just like see her belly. Do you know what I mean? Like, exposed. Like, it kind of looks silly, but also kind of freaky and like vulnerable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
More vulnerable.
And it's really weird to see that as well when we've grown used to like the belly being gone, and then
Yeah.
it's like, this is what we knew Claire as for such a long time.
Yeah.
Like, I sometimes felt it jarring to come back to the present scenes and see her not pregnant anymore.
Yeah, I totally did. And her little feet wiggling as well when she's like drugged out
she
of her
couldn't
mind.
touch the floor and she was like...
And as well, something I noticed about the framing of that first flashback is you don't see Ethan's face for ages.
Yes, I wrote that down. I was like, as if we don't know it's him.
I mean...
But, like, yeah, the fact that you don't see his face is really interesting.
Just sinister, I think, because it's like he is the white coat, you know what I mean?
And she has no choice but to trust him because of her situation. Yeah. The Milgram, if anyone doesn't know what we mean by when we keep saying Milgram...
Oh, I feel like people know. It's not like one of those niche psychological concepts that we bring up.
It's not one of the really niche ones, but if you don't know, Milgram was a psychologist. He did an experiment where he got people to give electric shocks to a stranger.
That they couldn't see. But he was, like, loudly protesting, and whenever they said, "I want to stop," there was a man, it was like an obedience test. There was a man in a lab coat who would say, "You have to carry on." Yeah. And it was to see how many shocks they would give the man with just someone who is in a coat telling them you have to do it. And it was actually they thought it was an experiment about, like, how electric shocks can help people. It was like a positive, like a reinforcement thing or something. A punishment thing. But yeah. So there wasn't really anyone being electrocuted, of course.
No, he wasn't really. He was on the other side.
It wasn't that unethical. It obviously was massively unethical, but it wasn't that unethical.
And it's one that it's been repeated a lot across history, and the results are always overwhelmingly that people will obey the man in the white coat. Yeah. Which is really interesting in terms of obedience and society and, like, how we view authority figures. Yeah. And this is very much that. Like, I mean, we've been talking about Ethan as another doctor in this scene. The only thing we believe he's a doctor because he's in that coat.
Exactly.
And, you know, we'll see you next week to see that develop or not develop or nothing happens. What's next week?
I believe it is the whole truth next week.
What's the whole truth?
We got a very slight hint at a random moment in this episode. So yes, if you'll remember last episode that we recorded before Joe's interview, I said, like, oh, there's a little hint at the end towards this one. Saeed, when he's talking about Charlie being hung from his neck, first of all, it's reminding us of that whole episode, but he says, like, and Claire got kidnapped and God knows what happened to her, or something. Yeah. And it's like, that's kind of planting the seed for next week. I really like it when they do that, because it really indicates like the kind of era of serial show that it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's why I love the previously ons as well.
And it's what we were saying, you know, what Joe was saying last week. Yeah. Like, they did forget. Yeah. Do you remember what happened, Charlie? And all the audience were like, oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, that thing happened to Charlie, didn't it? And Claire got kidnapped. Yeah, that was a whole thing. Setting you up to really enjoy maternity leave.
There is some little hints in this one for the next one. It is the whole truth. And there's also been some great hints across the last few episodes for one that's coming up soon that is one of my favourite episodes of the show.
Is that after the whole truth? Is it the one after?
The one after the whole truth is one of my favourite episodes of the whole show as well, but the one after that is the one that's being hinted towards.
Lockdown then, Dave?
Yes.
See, I know. I'm
always testing you now. Yeah. So yeah, we have the whole truth and then Lockdown and then Dave, and they are all bangers.
They're all bangers. Well, whole truth is... We'll get into it next week.
We'll talk about it next week.
I don't remember it as well, so I'll be excited to rewatch it. I don't
really remember what the on-island plot is.
Sorry, I just burped into the microphone. That must have been awful. Sorry.
So yeah, we'll see you next week for that. In the meantime, follow us on all of the social medias. Check out the description of this episode to see where to find us and where to find us personally as well.
Personally?
Yeah, where to
find us
our
personally.
Our full names and addresses and national insurance numbers are in there if you want to find us personally. Come hang out on Saturday. We're having fun. Well, hey, come hang out with us personally on the 30th of May.
Saturday, the 30th of May.
Is it a Saturday?
It is a Saturday.
Look at that. Saturday the 30th of May for our live episode. Yeah. And
grab your tickets.
Follow us online on our personal accounts is what I was going for in the description of this episode as well. Yeah. And we will see you next week.
Soon.